Happy New Year. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys some of the new materials that we will be working with in this new year, 2025, and also spring semester. The first thing I'm going to be showing you is just something I got for myself, which is exciting, from Beautiful Feet. And that is a tote bag. It says Homeschool Kindle Wonder, and it's just a big canvas tote bag. So very excited about this. Great for library finds or just holding stuff. And I didn't know this, but inside there's these pockets. So that's exciting. My dog is drinking some water in the background. Sorry for that noise. So that is that. And the rest of the stuff is going to be books. If you have watched my channel before, probably unsurprised about that. The two things I'm going to be showing you is the books for the Memoria Press. I think it's called like Family, Faith, and something else. It's based on Psalm 23. I shared it in a previous video, but it's based on board books mostly. So I got the board books to go with it, one at a time, and now I'm showing them to you guys. So we're Spot, and this is going to be for my toddler. I'm not going to get too academic about it, but I wanted to have something with him because a lot of the developmental milestones are based on things like, does your baby point to dog when you say dog, stuff like that. And with 6 kids, the board books have gotten a lot of wear and tear, so we needed some new board books. So that's my spiel about that. And I will put a link in the description so that you know what I'm talking about, which list I'm going off of. Okay, then we have corduroy. I just got this for him for fun. I'm pretty sure that's not on the list, just a classic. And Over in the Meadow, this is one of the books in it. And this is a famous song, if you haven't heard it. My toddler's obsessed with Raffi, and he does a cover of this, pretty sure. Then this is just, I think, a book I saw. We love Busy Town around here. Interesting fact I learned at the dentist's office, pediatric dentist, is that he was an artist for the Army before he started writing children's books. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, he would make the posters and stuff, I think, during World War II. Anyway, so we really like these like seek and find books. There's one called Can You Find It, which is for older kids. So I thought that this would be fun. We have one of these for, I think, Hello Kitty, and one for Curious George that my kids really like. So that's also for toddler. Next. We have 1, 2, 3 in a Tree. This is one of the books from the list. Baby Animals, Touch and Feel. Jane Foster's Summertime. And Farm. I think there's like 15 books or so that are for that list. And then I got like a couple. And it's kind of like a gift for this time of the year as well for him. Okay, so these books are something completely different. We will be doing Build Your Library Year 10, which is world history. And Emily, I think her name's Emily Cook, recently rewrote the 10th grade book list to incorporate some modern books. So this is the first part. I think it starts with Africa. I think it's ancient. We start with ancient history. I'm not sure. You'll have to check on her website. But so this is one of the books, African Icons, 10 People Who Shaped History. Then this is Nature Drawing and Journaling. So while we'll be mostly doing the history aspect of Build Your Library, there's also biology, and that is supported with nature journaling and learning about nature. So I got some of the books that I thought my daughter would be interested in, but she is separately doing science, which I'll be showing you, Sabbath Mood. So I thought maybe she could do this if she's interested. I'll just go ahead and purchase it anyway, and we can decide later if she could decide. Then we've got another baby book, Touch and Feel, and I Went Walking. And this art reminds me of something, so I wonder if there's another book for older kids. Such a distinctive style. All right. We have a couple of different things in this unboxing, in addition to babies and 10th grade. Can't get this open. Okay, so here we go. We are doing the Sabbath Mood, Living Science. You've seen several of these in my recent videos because my daughter enjoys them. It is a Charlotte Mason living, living book approach. And I've talked with the author of this, and she said it's okay to share the first 3 lessons. So she has these on her website in digital format, but you can also buy these on Amazon. So if you're with a charter, you can purchase them. And you can see the spine text is The Body, A Guide for Occupants, which I will just go ahead and grab real quick. Okay, sorry about that. So this I actually got at a library bookstore, and he has several different books that some of them are out of print and difficult to find. And so this book is scheduled, and it tells you when to read what, and you can read ahead and read through the guide and decide what you want to do for your student. But the difference with this approach is it's kind of like a continuation or a different approach to things like Ambleside Online or other Charlotte Mason curriculum book list. I'm not sure what you would call Ambleside Online, like Charlotte Mason leaders. I don't know what the word is. It's kind of like that, except it's more structured. So you have like the schedule, you have, well, this is the introduction. Here's a list of books that you could read to go with the assignments, special studies, supply list for labs. So really what I was trying to say is you have like read chapter 1 and then write about it in your notebook. And then there's a discussion question, and here's lesson 2. And so it's kind of like you're using the same sort of living books that places like Ambleside Online might assign. They don't assign this one that I know of. I'm just saying like, there's this book list, but then you're getting these different discussion questions, and she uses these QR codes to videos and different activities and things. And so it's much more structured and easier to implement, especially if you're not sitting and doing one-on-one lessons with your student. So that's what I really like about it. In addition to the types of living books she uses, they're very beautiful and interesting. So we're going to be starting with biology anatomy part 1, and I also got part 2. My daughter does these a little bit faster than the recommended schedule because we aren't doing all of the labs. So she's already done 3 of these guides in semester 1. They're supposed to last about 10 weeks, so she's doing that in about half the time. And she previously did geology, meteorology, and physics, and so now she's doing biology. And she really liked the Ambleside Online books for science. If you have seen my prior videos, she is the one who liked, I think it was 8th grade, the 8th grade science books. So that's why we're doing Charlotte Mason approach for her. Then we have Living Science Study Guide Part 2. And one thing I wanted to see is if there's a, okay, so this study guide accompanies this book. And I think I saw this one says the microscope. Just look at that. Oh no, yeah, the body guide for occupants. Okay, so it's the same book for both parts. And there's other books that you can get. You could see this one has cells on the cover and this one has lungs. So that's kind of a hint about the different things that will be covered. And you can see this note. Schedule, leisure reading suggestions, science notebook, supply list, And here she has, you can look on home science tools for dissection kits. I don't know if we'll do that. This daughter is a vegetarian, so I don't think she's going to want to do that. So maybe we'll do like an online dissection or something. So read in the dissecting room, skeleton, lesson 2, bones, and let's see what lesson 3 is. Experiment, and it's a dissection of a sheep brain. So she picked that she wanted to do this next, so I will work with her and decide what sorts of labs and things she feels comfortable doing. Perhaps there are examples online of alternatives to dissection for children who are ethically opposed to it. But yeah, so the one thing that I wish was on here I could show you is like the scope and sequence, so you could see this one covers this and this one covers that. It is on her website for sure. I have seen it there. That's what we looked at. My daughter wanted to do part 2, but it said that part 1 was a prerequisite. So even though she did biology last year with our charter school, I wanted to make sure that we weren't skipping over anything that might make this part more challenging without doing that first. So that's what she'll be doing for science. And I will post a link to Sabbath Mood so you can read more about it if you're interested. Okay, got more baby books. Happy birthday. Goodnight Moon, if you haven't heard of this one. This is a very, very classic, very commonly gifted book to new parents. This one's also darling, by Margaret Wise Brown. So this is not an assigned book. This is just a book that I thought maybe we should get. And 10 Tiny Toes. I think this one is an assigned book. Great. And we have more 10th grade materials. Okay, so we have The Curious Naturalist, and as you can see, this goes with the nature study. I think this might be assigned in some other lists, because I feel like I've seen this cover before. Here's the contents, and it's by season. I love that. This really reminds me of Arabella Buckley or the like. That's cool. Oh, this is completely different. So this is, if you've ever heard of Easy Peasy, which is an online comprehensive, I think K through 12 curriculum. I think the website is allinonehomeschool.com. This is the printables. So if you go onto the website and you do the lessons, there are the different worksheets for students to do. And so this is the actual worksheets based on the lesson. So you would need both things. But what I was interested in was having these as kind of like a backup. I don't actually do Easy Peasy, and I haven't in years, but I thought when I saw this suggested on Amazon, I thought that was really cool. And I wanted to show it to you guys because I know that this is a widely used curriculum. The woman who started it wanted to create a free curriculum for homeschoolers. She is a Christian missionary, so there are definitely Christian like Bible study resources and other things on the website, but it's separate from the different lessons that she has, if that makes sense. So it can be used, I think, secularly. Oh, and here's like the whole spiel. So she wanted to minister to people who couldn't afford materials, and so she has everything on there for free. And you can print these things from there as well, but this is like the already ready to go situation. So since we're doing ancient history, I thought that could be interesting to try. So that is those two. And apparently some of you guys already knew about this. I had no idea this was a thing. I thought that was really cool that you could buy it printed. I think it's very clever and helpful and pretty low cost. I think they're only like $7 per printed booklet. Okay. So this box we have Writing with Ease Workbook 3. I'm intending to use this with my 5th grader. I had used these like a decade ago, but not properly. So it came onto my radar again, and I wanted to give it a try. So the way that this works is you have a 5-day-a-week like cycle that you go through. So, and the difference between the different levels is level 1 has much shorter reading passages and level 3 is much longer. So the beginning of the book has the lessons. So here's the reading selections, and you have day 1 narration. So you do the page, ask them to write their name, then have the student read it aloud. When they're younger, you read it to them. Then have them identify central elements by asking these questions. So it's scripted similar to Memoria Press or others. And then you ask a general question, so they give a brief summary. That's a narration. So that's day 1. So that's narration exercise. Day 2 is dictation. And you have them writing down, I think, as you say it to them. Then you have day 3, reading this, narration and dictation. And this is different for younger ages. For younger ages, you're doing copy work. Day 4 is dictation, and you're focusing on comma and period use. So this only has 4 days in the first week. And so the point of me getting this is I was looking for some more structured writing, but I didn't want it to be too structured, if that makes sense. I wanted some structure, not too much structure. This uses kind of like a Charlotte Mason-y approach, but it's from Well-Trained Mind, which is I think neoclassical is how it's described by the purists approach, in that it focuses on history and science rather than the true classics, which are like Latin and Greek and classic texts. But it, like in the younger years, it has copy work. So you're copying sentences using capitalization. You're recalling things as well. And then for the older ages, it's more structured. And so what I'm looking for is tools to help structure my homeschool that are flexible. I can pull this out and use it, and it uses classic literature. I don't have to go find it and have my kids do copy work on their own. It's ready to go. And so that is the appeal for me. And so that is why I'm giving it a try again after, actually, it's probably been over 10 years. I think it's a good fit for right now because I'm doing most of the work with my 2nd and 5th graders one-on-one or two-on-one, one-on-two. And so this is a tool that I think we'll be able to use. Next, we have Scythe. This is one of the first assigned reading books in Build Your Library Level 10. And it is a dystopian book. I have not read it, but my older daughter has read it, and I think it is good. It's pretty well known if you are into dystopian literature. I think there's 4 books. I think it's kind of similar to The Giver / The Lottery, if you're familiar with those tales. Anyway, you can find out more about that online. Then we have the religions book. So this is the, what is the word? Elective. So it's like world geography and religions, or world cultures and religions, which was the appeal of Build Your Library in 7th grade for this student. That worked out really well. So I thought that this might be good. This will be optional, but I think she'll like it. She's a very fast reader. So it's kind of interesting. It's got this encyclopedic approach. And one of the things I noticed about Build Your Library in the high school years is there's a lot of very visually engaging resources. So if you have students that are not big fans of traditional textbooks or long texts, especially if you look at, for example, the traditional Charlotte Mason-y books, which are very dense and very laborious and wordy, this could be a good option. And I will be showing you the spine text, which I think further reinforces that theory. So World Religions book, and I think there's one more book like that I don't have yet. Then we have the Black History book. This is one of the history spines. One of the things I noticed, which I really appreciate from Build Your Library, and Blossom and Root has started doing this as well, is if you look at the curriculum, like the file that you get and you print it out, they now have a book list in the beginning, and it has like the scope and sequence for the 36 weeks or whatever, and it says you're using this book in this week so that you can plan ahead. So this is one of the first books that's assigned, and it goes with this book. So it's like you read from the Black History book, and then you're reading from African Icons, and I think there's one other book that you read with as well. Anyway, so Prehistory and Ancient, and again, you've got the same, I think these are both DK. Yeah, the same visually engaging encyclopedic approach, which is great for students who do well with that. So that is one of the other spines for this brand new Build Your Library. It's actually not brand new. I think it's like a year or two. But to me, it's brand new because we haven't done it. And I think this is the last box for today. So we have Gilgamesh. This is the same one that is assigned in Waldorf circles, I believe, because I have another copy of it. But again, this goes with the ancient study, Build Your Library, and obviously this is a very probably not daunting read for a 10th grader. Probably you're reading a couple of these pages per day. My daughter might read this in one sitting. But anyway, that is an assigned adaptation. And we have language arts. This is for grade 5. Memoria Press has this assigned for 2nd grade. Then they have English grammar recitation for older grades. English grammar recitation is not exactly going as I would like. It is a bit daunting. You have to refer back and forth between materials, and that sort of friction often leads to things not getting done with the frequency with which I would like and expect in our homeschool. So I decided to simplify things and go ahead and get the 5th grade version. Here's an overview of the table of contents. What I am looking for is short and sweet grammar, getting done on a daily basis, ideally, and the ability for a student to do it independently and for me to be able to check over it quickly. The difference between core language skills is you're only getting one concept per page. It is pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if there are answers in the back if you need that. But here you have, what is a noun? Read each sentence, write the nouns. Okay, it's easy, right? Your 5th grader should be able to quickly do that. Even if you have not covered nouns, you should be able to explain that and they will understand the concept. Although Susan Weisbauer made a joke about her 7th grader not being able to say what a noun is and her having to literally throw the book at him, which she discussed regretfully, but I'm sure that's a common experience. Then we have subject or object pronoun. So this is the type of thing where you might want to look in the answer key if you're unclear, but you're only covering one thing at a time. You're not reviewing something and then doing something new and then practicing it, whatever. That is the EGR approach. Anyway, so this is very stripped down grammar. We used to do grammar usage and mechanics, but again, it's very too complicated more complicated than necessary for me. And I also don't want to be purchasing a $20 teacher guide. I don't feel that's necessary. If you are not as experienced in teaching grammar, that may be something that you'd be interested in, at least for the younger years. But here we have, for example, homonyms. So which two are you using? Which its? So anyway, that is 5th grade language arts. Next, we have the Epic of Gilgamesh. So this is I think I was supposed to get both. Perhaps they're comparing and contrasting. This is definitely the younger version, and then this is the Penguin version that they will be reading. That's assigned in Build Your Library level 10. We have the Ancient Near East. This is also an assigned book. And she has the whole book list on her website, as well as a sample of the first 3 weeks if you're interested in seeing more about Build Your Library level 10. I don't think I said that yet. And then we have the City of the Plague God. This is a Rick Riordan Presents. So he has worked with authors from different mythological backgrounds. There is like a Latin set of tales. Latin American. Sorry, I was thinking Chicano. So Mexican mythology, things like that. Then there are Indian from India, and then there are African tales like Tristan Strong Punches the Sky, stuff like that. So this is Sarwat Chada, and this is about Mesopotamia, Gilgamesh. So I think it's kind of cool how Build Your Library has and actually I'm noticing that there is a book that is not here, so I'll have to see what happened with that. how you have, like, let's say the DK book, which is teaching you about the history, and then, which I can't find right now, and then you have like the classic or the old stuffier kind of books that you're reading, and then you have like a fun, like I guess a kind of living historical fiction or mythology book. So that's what I really like about Build Your Library. So I don't have the last book I was hoping to tell you about, but that is the main spine for the history. So I'll definitely have to find that, which is a comic book. And so if you have a student who is like a more reluctant learner, doesn't want to read, one of the things that parents often give advice about is using graphic novels. And so the actual spine for 10th grade history is a graphic novel. So I was hoping to share that with you guys. Perhaps I'll find it as soon as I stop filming this. But that is one of the interesting aspects of Build Your Library Level 10. So thank you guys for watching. I know this is a random assortment of different grade levels. We've got 5th grade, we've got 10th grade, and we've got baby. So, but that's how life is with 6 kids when you're homeschooling. So thank you guys for watching. I will keep you posted on if I can find that book, and let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, thanks for watching.